Everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat. Baruch Hashem. We're in the middle of Likutey Halachos, Chayim, Hilchos Netilas Yadayim, Shachris Daled. Today we're in the middle of letter Tez Zayin and Mitzvah Hashem. Well, hopefully we'll try to finish the Hilchos Netilas Yadayim today with Siyata D'Shmaya. If not, we'll finish tomorrow. No rush. All right, but it's going to be very exciting. We're going to start the Hilchos Tzitzis, and that's going to be very, very, very exciting. Okay, so here we go. It says the Rebbe today, V'zeh Bechinas, he's quoting David HaMelech, Hi Shafti Derachai, V'ashiva Ragli, El Edai Secha. So the Gemara brings this down that David HaMelech all the time, he had his plans. Every day he made, he was the king, right? So he had plans, and he would make plans where he was going to go each day and make his meetings and all the things. But somehow his feet took him always to the Beis Medrash. He made plans to go here, there, and there. But the next thing you know, he was in the Beis Medrash and he was learning. That was David HaMelech. Ki mitchila sefer migoydel t'shukosai v'slavusai l'Hashem yizborach shezeh b'chinas bittul. Because David HaMelech, mitchila sefer, in the beginning of the sefer, migoydel t'shukosai, he has such a great shukah, he has such a great desire. V'slavus and a inner, I don't know, eat both words. One is like a burning desire. L'Hashem yizborach zeh b'chinas bittul. That was bittul. What's bittul? We said that any time the person closes his eyes from this world and he recognizes what's the truth, and this is what David HaMelech would do. David HaMelech understood, like we mentioned yesterday. David HaMelech understood that every moment that he was living, it was borrowed time. David HaMelech understood that all the time of his life was really only because Adam Rishon granted him the 70 years, and he understood that. So he was always living his life to the fullest level of tachlis. He always he saw the tachlis of everything, and that's really what he was doing. Chelki Hashem Amarti. He says, Chelki Hashem Amarti. The chelik of Hashem Amarti says, Hainu she'eni roitze she'yeh li shum chelik b'hav le'olam hazeh. I don't want to have anything part of this world. I don't want to have anything part. I just want to be connected to you, Hashem. Rak Chelki Hashem Amarti. Look at this, right, Sasha? What do you think of these words, huh? Rak Chelki Hashem Amarti. Rak my chelik of Hashem am I speaking? Ki ani roitze tamid ledabek atzmi rak b'Hashem yizbarach lichlol be'oirei ha'ein soif. I mean, this is really what we all want. We all really want to be connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're trying to, but we get involved in the worldly things, and then it sidetracks us. For everything else, we get sidetracked. B'zeh chilisi panecha b'chol leiv. What does that mean? Shani miyachal u'mekaver u'mechake b'chol eis rak l'or panecha. David HaMelech is saying that he's always hoping for, he's longing for, he's pining for, always to what? The or panecha. He wants HaKadosh Baruch Hu's light. K'mayshe perish Rashi shamshu b'loshen chelki Hashem amra nafshi al kein oichiloi. And therefore, David HaMelech is always relying, right? He's always relying on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's hoping for HaKadosh Baruch Hu because that's all he wants. V'zeh b'chinas tshukas b'bittul hanal. Unbelievable. And it's unbelievable to understand this idea of David HaMelech, how he lived his life with such a connection to the Rabbeinu Shalom. V'zeh chishafti darchai v'ashiva ragli el edai secha. Hainu shelefi oitzem islavus v'atshuka ha'gedoyla azois. Ha'yefshe she is goru yosef v'yosef chazom. Really, because we said when a person has such a great desire for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right, when you feel that, when he comes, so then the other side is fighting back. It's like that, the example we gave yesterday. There's we brought from the Tanya, right, each person is his own little world. And there's two, and he has example, there's two kings on the world, and each king wants to rule the world, right? So when one king sees that the other one is doing better, he gets a little more adrenaline and he fights back to the other. He fights back the other king. So this is really what we're saying over here, what was going on with David HaMelech. But really, that's what should happen. And we said, what do we need? We always need to understand we need Torah to be mechazik. And that's why David HaMelech was always going and working on and getting close to the Rebbeinu Shalom with Torah and Avodah. He knew this. He knew that the other side is going to come and try to attack him because that's the way he was. We know whenever you go up in Kedusha, the other side goes up as well. It's not just doesn't the kedusha doesn't go up. Both it's always equals, right? Hakadosh Baruch Hu keeps Hakadosh Baruch Hu keeps everything balanced. Alkin Amar Chishafti Derachai Vashiva Ragli Eletzecha Shani Machashev Derachai B'chol Eis B'chol Yoim B'chol Shah. I'm figuring out where I have to go and everything else. Ma Tachlis Mikol Olam Hazeh V'Avolam. What's the purpose of this world and all of the futile things of this world? Ulefi cheshboni umachshavti, because David HaMelech made his cheshbon, he made a good calculation. He thought over this calculation. And he made a calculation. B'vaday ani mislai b'chol eis levatal atzmi legamri. He realized that what is it? What am I going to do? I'll go do this, I'll do that. What am I wasting my time for? Really, I'm supposed to be just connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And then if we all make a cheshbon, if we sit down and we're honest with ourselves, we make a cheshbon, we would say, really, what are we wasting our time for? Right? We run around on all the meetings and all the things, and then we don't even know if we're going to make any money, right? Like you said. What's it worth? Now, I'm sorry, we all have to do our shtadlis to make a panos, of course. Achalila v'chalila she'epo mizeh nefila kolshu. But David HaMelech is saying, but chalila v'chalila, that I'll fall from this even a little bit. Kishani roya she'ena yoyla biyadi rak v'ashiva ragli elay desecha. And the David HaMelech said, when I realized that it wasn't working out, or whatever it was, and he was worried about it, so what did he do? He went back and be mechazik with Torah. And we said that's what it is when a person has bittul. When they have the bittul, so then they can bring down from the Rishimu Torah, this Torah. And the Torah is the antidote to fight back the other side that tries to constantly entice us with different things of this, the useless things of this world. He tries to entice us, make it look good. He makes it should look good for us. But what did he do? He would go back to the Beis HaMedrash because that's where the Torah was. L'nachem u'lahachiyes atzmi al-yedei ha'edus through HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah. The edus is the Torah through our Torah shekibalnu that we accepted. L'zor levli lotzeis al kol panim chas v'sholem edarki ha-Torah b'shipshitas, and not to go away from Hashem's Torah b'pshitas. What does it mean, b'pshitas? We learn b'pshitas, we understand that really whatever we learn, whatever we do, it's really a little tipa of a tipa, it's a drop of a drop. All the Torah that we have, we understand that really, what is it? We have even the Chafetz Chaim said, the holy Chafetz Chaim said that he gave the example that if you go to the ocean and you have a big bucket with you, and you fill the bucket up with water, and then you pull up the bucket from the ocean, are you going to say you're holding the ocean in your hand? He said, that's the Torah. The Torah is so big. No matter what you gain from it, there's so much more. It's impossible. It's infinite. The Torah is infinite. And that's the main thing. So that's when you learn the pshitas. You try what you can. Then we say, that's what we say every day. We say, give me my chelik. We beg Hashem to give me my chelik, whatever that is. Whatever my chelik is, please let me have my chelik in this magnificent Torah of yours, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Let me have my chelik. And that's really what we're trying to say. Is that? Chashti v'loi hismamanti lishma mitzvaysecha shetekif ani mizores atzmi b'zrizis gadol miyoy lishma mitzvaysecha v'pshitas al kol panim. And this is the way we have to live our lives. We have to live our lives right away. Shetekif ani mizores. I have to like tremble. What does zores mean? To tremble a little bit. I have to be worried. Zores. I have to be careful, fast. I have to be Zariz also. That means like that too. Atzmi v'zrizas gadol. I have to go with zrizas gadol miyoy lishma mitzvaysecha b'pshitas, to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to fulfill the mitzvahs b'pshitas. Ki mechma shehem is gorim Oz b'yoyse, because the other side is just going to keep fighting me. So what do I need? I have to reinforce the side of good. And how do I do that? With more Torah, with more Isbaidus, with more connection to HaKadosh, with more mitzvahs, and that's the way we can fight back. Al kein tzrichin lizgaber lizdores, ma'oi bizrizes gadol negdam lishma mitzvaysav yizbarach. And that's why we have to constantly fight back. And we have to do with his reasons, with a hastiness, with a sense of quickness, because we don't want to get enticed from the other side. So you right away jump into the Torah, so you don't get sidetracked. What does it mean here now? Now we're going to explain the whole situation. What is that? Shehem mizvadim alav umiskarim by b'yosem machmas bechinas goydelish taikos. Because the other side is constantly going to come and try to attack David HaMelech, or any Yid for that matter, that tries to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The other side is going to come and is going to try to attack him. But you have to understand that what's going on. You have to understand that that's what's going on. And because of that, because the person has a strike, because bechinas bittul, shu bechinas chalki Hashem amarti. I'm saying my chelik Hashem. That's the Torah. Chevle rishoyim ivduni. What does that mean? Ivduni. Sharishoyim sheim asitra acha v'aklipos. That's the sitra acha. Oh, yeah. And the klipas, the Rishayim, Shema Sitra Acha, the klipa, Vaklipas, Mizvadim, Mizgorim by B'yosem Achmas Anel. They make fun. People will do that to you. What are you wasting your time? You're learning. Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah, you come and enjoy this. It's so nice. You learn another time. What are you doing? That's what they try to do. But me, Hashem, your Torah, I didn't forget. Because I give vitality to myself. I give life to myself. B'chol eis al yedei Torah, through the Torah. Shemekareres hatzimoin u'meshaberes u'mabateles oisam. And then we have that thirst that we have. What's the thirst? The thirst is to get closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to get closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah. That's the thirst. And then when we learn the Torah, it quenches the thirst, and it breaks all the opposition that we have from the Sitra Acha and the Klipas. Now he's bringing back Chatzos Laila, because again we're closing off this whole segment here before we get into tzitzis. And we'll visit it again and again, but this is going to pretty much end the whole thing of this. And the Rav says one more time. This is what David HaMelech said, that I get up at Chatzos Laila to praise you, to thank you. Al mishpatei tzidkecha, on your righteous judgments, on the Torah, on the Torah. He called divareinu hamivayarim b'chol halacha hazois. Because all of the things that we spoke about so far in this, all these halachas, Rav Nosson said, all the things, hazois hakol soivei v'hoilech al inyan kimas chatzos. It all comes back to kimas chatzos, getting up at chatzos. Getting up at chatzos and saying the tikkun chatzos. She'ozu misayra ashena. That's how we can wake up to sleep. That's how we wake up to sleep. So now we understand what does it mean to wake up to sleep. We understand when we get up in the morning, we have that rishimu. And we have to capitalize on that rishimu. How do we capitalize on the rishimu? We take out the tzitzis. Once we say the maidani, we wash our hands, we take out the tzitzis, we look at the tzitzis. And we look at the tzitzis and remember, that's the Hisayrus Hashena. How do you have the Hisayrus Hashena? It's because you see the tachlis. You see the tchelis, you know what the tachlis is. And then I say, what am I sleeping my life away? What am I going to sleep my wife away? You learn that. That comes each time when they come back from the bittul. And that's what the Sitra Acha wants, so much so, to be misgaber on the Sheina Gashmiya, so we should physically sleep. He wants us to physically sleep. Shehu Sitra de Maisa. That's the side of death. Shu Bechina Sitra de Misava. The Sha'ya al Yodi. That's the side of impurity that rests on my hands. That's the side of impurity. We spoke so much about this. V'azai tzrichin lisgaber u'lisoira me'ashena bezrizus. And with this, a person has to get up in the morning and lisoira me'ashena, to wake up from the sleep is rizus. He has to do it in a steadfast way. Because if you try, you say, I'll sleep another minute. The next thing you know, it's another half an hour, it's another hour. If you don't do it with zrizus, if you don't jump out of bed, the zrizus, it's going to get lost. The time gets lost. And to learn Torah, because again, when you learn Torah, that's the best way to fight the other side. And through that you can draw the koyach HaTorah shenimshach me'or hazricha, that comes from the or hazricha. Now we know what the or hazricha is, right? The light of the Shai, that beautiful light that we got, Shalarashimum, from the trace that's left from when we closed our eyes and we went to sleep the right way. Again, when we say the Kriya Shema Lamita the right way, and we're mizvadim, and we say I was sorry for the things that we did during the day, and we make a cheshbon hanefesh, and when we do that, and we go to sleep and we close our eyes, that's a sense of bittul by itself right there. And then every time when we get up in the morning, and the Neshama returns back to us, so we get that Rishimu, because the Neshama was up on high, and the Seichel went with it, and then it comes back, but it gets only a trace. And then we said we need the tefillin, right? We need the tefillin, we put on the tzitzis, we see that, we put on the tefillin, that fills the Or HaZricha, fills the Rishimu into our mayach, because the tzitzis helped clean up the mind, cleaned up the mayach, and then and there was the mayach, the brain. It was able to do that, so that way the seichel can sit into it, and it shouldn't seep out. Right? And therefore you can stand up against them and you can fight them. Shenismach lepsukim elu, it's very close to these psukim. Amaschil chelkei Hashem shemedaber me'inyan hisnoitzutus shel habitul, and it's all connected. The whole inyan of David HaMelech was this idea. It was always to be mevatel to the Rabbeinu Shalom, and through David HaMelech being mevatel to the Rabbeinu Shalom, he was able to come so close to the Rabbeinu Shalom. Was able to come so close, and he was able to bring to Sefer Tehillim to the world. He was able to do that, to collect all the tefillas from all the tzaddikim, and he added all of his tefillas, and he was able to put the most magnificent book together. That's Ma'ira Tshuva, right? Rabbi Nachman says that when a person reads Tehillim, the whole idea of reading Tehillim is because when you read Tehillim, it's Ma'ira Tshuva. Because you understand that you read the Tehillim, and when you read it the right way, and you understand, you try to put yourself in the words of David HaMelech. So then that mamish is going to draw you closer to the Rebbeinu Shalom. It's going to make a person come closer and make tshuva to Shalema. And that's why Tehillim is so important for tshuva. We should get our vitality only through Torah. As we said. And then we said that Hilchos, and now he goes on to say Hilchos Netilas Yadayim Shachris Halacha Hey Nichlal BeHilchos Hashkamas Habayka Halacha Hey. Well, we already learned that, Baruch Hashem. So just to recap now. So we this whole lesson that we were doing, make a recap. This whole lesson that we were doing is based on lesson 65 in Likutey Moran, right? And we did that lesson, and we worked on that so much, and Baruch Hashem. And then we learned this idea of the whole idea of bittul. How would we have known that the same way when a person, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu worked it out, that it's in our nature, that when a person has some kind of instant pain, chas v'shalom, everyone should be healthy and well, but if someone they stub their toe or something like that, right? So automatically the pain is so much that they close their eyes, right? They close their eyes, and then the Rebbe taught us, what does it mean they close their eyes? And when we close our eyes, we're mevatel ourselves from this world. We close our eyes from seeing things of this world. Mechazu d'hai alma, right? We said that. But we don't see things of this world, and we understand that it's coming from Hashem. So then when I understand that this whole thing happened to me because it's coming from Hashem, but then when it comes back, when I open my eyes, the pain may be even much more, right? Because the other side sees it, you understand where it's coming from. So the pain starts to fight you much more. But then when you understand it, and you can draw Torah in there, and the Torah keeps you understanding that it's from Hashem, and that will straighten out the whole problem. That's the way to get rid of the things that can happen. But then we said we can also do that at night, right? You can also do that at night, because at night you also go to sleep, right? And when you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to be the one to wake up the morning, right? Just reviewing, right? You're supposed to be the one to wake up the morning, not that the morning is supposed to wake you up, right? Remember, learned that, Sasha, right? Yeah. Right? You wake up the morning, not that the morning wakes you up, because when you wake up the morning, then you can get the das. Then you get the das, and you know it's all hashkacha pratis. Remember we learned that, right? When you woke up the morning, then you see the sun shining. You realize the sun that you're seeing is not really the sun, but you realize it's really HaKadosh Baruch Hu's light that's manifesting itself through the sun. So that helps you understand all day long. All day long, it helps you understand hashkacha pratis. It's all Hashem. Everything that happens is really Hashem. Anyone I meet, anywhere I go, anything I do, it's all, these are all situations that Hashem set me up that I needed to be involved in, and this is why I'm doing it, right? Remember we learned that, right? And that's the Ikar Das, right? Then we said in Shemoneh Esrei, I'm just reviewing a whole bunch of things. Then we said in Shemoneh Esrei, when we say Choynei Das, we can have the beautiful kavanah is that we say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, give me the das that I know it's all hashkacha pratis. Give me the das that I know it's all you. And it's not anything else in the world. It's not anybody. It's not any government. It's not any situation. It's not any financial institution. It's only you, Hashem. It's only you. And when I understand that, that mamish helps me. And how do I do that? I do that through my tzitzis, right? Because when I see the tzitzis, I remember the tachlis. Right? So that way I can get up early in the morning, because then I see those tzitzis. That reminds me, what's my tachlis? So why do I want to go sleep more? I don't even want to sleep more. I want to do more. Like David HaMelech said. So then I put on my, I put on those tzitzis when I saw the tachlis. And that helps my mayach. It cleans up my mind. It sets the mind so the mind can get the Rishimu to come into the mind. How does the Rishimu come into the mind? When I put on my tefillin. The tefillin is a reinforcement, so to say, a connector. So it helps draw down more of the light, and it sets it into the mayach. That's what sets it into the mayach. And then how do you do that? It's all based on how you go to sleep at night. It's all how you go to, if you go to sleep the right way, you go to sleep early, then you can get up early. Right? There's a big Yetzer Hara. We spoke a lot about that I have to stay up late. I have a lot of things to do, right? But if you can overcome that Yetzer Hara, and you can go to sleep early, and then you can get up early, it's such a different day. It's unbelievable. And those that come to the Nate's Minyan understand the day is so nice. I spoke to so many people that said since they started to go to the Nate's Minyan, they feel that they have so much more time. They have so much more they can accomplish during the day. Why? Because they understand that they're mamish enjoying with the Rebbeinu Shalom. And you know that the Kadosh Baruch Hu, Chazal teach us that the Nates is such a special, auspicious time that the Shemayim is open, and it's like a fast lane. It's a fast lane that your tefillahs can go right up, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu cleans up all the opposition that's normally there on the road to let the tefillah to go to the Kisei HaKavod. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu cleans it up. He sends them all on the coffee break, all those malachim, all they're on the break right at that time. And that's why Nates is such an important thing to get your tefillah up to Shemayim. Unbelievable. And the Gemara says that anyone that was able to daven by Nates, he has to be happy all day long. It's an amazing thing. So I have a double one. The Rebbe said that anyone that goes to Rosh Hashanah is in Uman for Rosh Hashanah, you have to be happy the whole year. And then Allah has come. If you got to daven that day on the Nates Minyan, wow. Ashreinu mataycha keinu umanayim goyim aleinu. 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 Shkayach everybody, kol tuv.